Hey everybody, I'm feeling better than I have been feeling. I think a lot of rest is needed more for me to be fully back to 100%. The only problem that I'm having right now is memory, like that's been sporadic, and it's not like I'm totally like can't remember stuff. It's just that certain it takes me a minute to sometimes collect my thoughts, and then um, my vision it just gets better today than it was yesterday. It was more blurry yesterday than it was today, but today is a lot better. So thank you for all of the well wishes. And what I wanted to talk about today was some of the topics that I spoke on yesterday, but for some reason Facebook decided to delete my video and not, allow it to post, even though it was posted. Don't get it was no music in it. There wasn't anything crazy, nothing copywritten. It wasn't talking about anything controversial, but it is what it is. But what I wanted to talk about today is about the changes that you see that's going on right now, and people are making changes for the things that doesn't line them up with their higher selves. Like if you're faced with situations and you see that it's not bringing out the best of you, like it's bringing out the worst of you, then it's time to move away from that situation and do what makes you happy and then what enlightens you, and that's what's going to make you a better person. um I've noticed that a lot of people are going through a lot of situations where they're going back to their past and they're like trying to determine whether any choices and decisions that they have made, were they good decisions, and if they weren't, how can you make good on those decisions? So you will find yourself in a position on where you have to basically evaluate your your play in that situation, and that will tell you what side of the scale of karma you'll end up on. Like, you reap what you sow. So you have to look back at your past events and see all the things you did, and see whether you're in a positive karmic cycle or a negative. And for me, I realized, I guess, before this transit happened, it's like internally I kind of knew what was going on. So I was already, like, even last year, already making strides and making sure, checking my growth process and making sure that I wasn't creating negative karma for myself. So I made sure that all of my actions lined up accordingly. And so, and doing that, like, I feel comfortable on this side of things as far as I'm concerned. I know a lot of, I've been through a lot of hurt, a lot of malice, betrayal by people that I held in high esteem, and I had to realize where that came from. And I can't fix people. I've been stopped trying to do that because you can't fix anyone, but you can fix who you attract into your life by monitoring your personal vibrations and seeing if what you're doing is, don't make excuses for people's behavior. That's number one. And don't make excuses for your own. Do the self work necessary, or allow that person to do the self work necessary to be, to be that excuse that you're making for them. Like, sometimes we make excuses for people and they're not even making excuses for themselves. You know what I mean? And they're just acting in bad faith. But, as people, we tend to see the good rather than the bad in situations. So, we'll create a scenario, and at the end of the day, the person's just messed up. You know what I mean? Like, certain people are envious. Certain people, you would think they have your best interests at heart, but they really don't. If you see a person constantly is doing like always trying to have a one man up ship in your relationship, and they're always, in situations where your mind is not on it. You need to evaluate that, and then you also need to evaluate yourself, because to attract people that betray you, meaning you're betraying yourself first. Because it's like, well, I don't know about everybody, but I know me personally, I could kind of feel when I'm being betrayed by someone. And so I just give them plenty of rope. I give them as much rope as they need for them to hang themselves. But I'm not going to even do that anymore, because, like, that is a waste of time, because you're like trying to wait for a person to learn a lesson, and in that time frame, you're occupied by that, and you're not living your life, reaping your karmic rewards of all the good deeds you did. So, like, I guess the biggest thing that I've learned from this is to stop wearing a mask of the fool, because people really think you are one when you do that. I mean, like, I know I have done it as a way to, like, make a person not feel intimidated and things like that. But you cannot constantly take people's feelings and considerations that are not taking yours. So right now you need to be looking at who would bring out your highest good. Don't cater to bullshit. If it's something that you don't like, is that person catering to your bullshit? Or anything they perceive as bullshit from you? Don't cater to anything from them. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, this life is supposed to be about living to your highest and doing the thing that fulfills you and makes you happy. I'll be damned if I'll be an old lady upset about the choices that I made and coulda, woulda, shoulda. No, 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 no. That's not going to be me. Life is about living, finding your happy and living it out daily, not waiting for someone to Ed McMahon or somebody to drop off $1 million check for you to finally find your happy. Find your happy today, right now, and you'll see all of those things start to unfold for you. You know, I don't know. I have more to say about it later. I had so much to say, but my mind just slipped. That's all. You see, I'm telling y'all, it's still not back to full order. But everybody needs a bump in the head sometimes, I feel, because it seems like that bump in the head woke me up to a lot of things. And it's so funny how people really think you're naive in situations. And I guess when you are kind and when you treat people the way you want to be treated, it's easy for them to think that, they pulled the wool over your eyes or they did something. But I've learned not to harbor resentment because of that, because I know, like, what goes around always comes around. Whether the person tells you they're going through their karmic cycle or not, they get it. We all get it. Nobody's exempt. And Karma Chef, and Karma's Kitchen, you're gonna get served up. You're just due. No one believed that. So as long as you keep that in mind with your daily actions and your movements, you're not gonna have an issue. So that's what gives me solace. That every day, the seeds that I plant are seeds of positivity. And I notice that those who don't, you know, like like, I have a veil of protection over me. So anything anybody tries to do to me, it'll come back to them. And but not everybody has a veil of protection over them, and but that veil of protection is your karma. You're like, if you're not a messed up person, that want to.